For those who weren't around for the discussions 6 years ago, we had made the decision that we wanted to be able to have that connection with them, and we offered to fly a member from the chapter there to come to our retreat. And I think in a wise discernment on the part of the Philippines chapter, they said, no, if you send someone to us, all of our members then have that connection. If we send someone to you, one of us has that. It is much better for you to come to us. They picked up the hotel costs, they picked up the food costs, they picked up the local transportation costs, and for them, that is a sacrifice. We were, as I said, treated quite royally. I think they will be disappointed if we go back and say, no, we can't come, we can't be the speaker for this October. That feels to me like the right answer. I need your thoughts.
I agree that bringing the new abbot would probably be the way to go about it. So yeah, I think if you explain that to them in that way, that you want to continue your relationship with them, and I think that makes a lot of sense.
You
I
could
do
ask.
too. And with COVID concerns around the world, it may be safer health-wise to wait. But I like the idea of the new abbot and the past abbot going together. I think that's the way we should do it.
I just said, why not just ask them how they would feel about that, rather than say, here's what we've decided.
My dilemma, Brother French, is I think internally I've decided I'm not going to go by myself.
Yeah, well, sure.
You could go with another member of
Right.
another general officers of the but I do think it's fair to say I can't go in October. You invited me in October, that's too soon. I have plans. I'm worried about the health situation. We want to come. I cannot come in October. However, going forward, I confess a little part of me, since we asked about having two chapters in the Philippines and we're a little bit curious about what's going on there, there's a part of me that would like somebody to go not 2 years from now, but sooner, to kind of find out what's going on, to see if we can't even get them in the same room for a Eucharist together, maybe to be healing agent, I don't know. So I'm a little, like I said, I think there are possibilities for reconciliation that might come out of this trip, possibly, if they're even halfway open to it. But
just a question of clarification. If you postpone until the next abbot, what would the timeline be there in terms of the person being installed and then really needing to get their feet on the ground? Because you don't start on day one and fly to the Philippines, although you might.
Scott, do you need to turn me back on?
Everybody hear you?
Yeah, we heard you. I was just having him turn it back on so you could hear me. Well, in fact, that's what happened to me. I was 2 weeks into being the abbot when I went over.
yeah.
They got to see me being really quite inept at being an abbot. But they were very polite about it. They would probably want to have us come almost immediately, because they also hold their retreats in October. And if you don't do that, then it would be then a full year later than that, and that would be basically saying it would be 3 years from now, which would be a very significant delay from their invitation. I mean, even delaying it 2 years is a pretty significant delay. I have an excuse, although I hope it's not an excuse. I think it's an excuse that makes sense for this year. I have some health issues that make me think I probably shouldn't be on an airplane this October.
Absolutely.
So I have reason to say I'm sorry, but this October is not workable for me. And if
Well,
we.
one possibility could be sending a representative or two that is not you, to maintain that connection and meet with both chapters, because it does sound there's some fraught relationships there that offering legitimacy to both might be helpful. If we, could we send 2 or 3 now without you, and then sort of do a both and?
I would need the order to figure out if we can afford to send 2 without me, if we had to pay for both of them.
That's a huge
Yeah,
expense.
that's a lot.
What was your airfare? I mean, it was,
I'm afraid at this point in time, it's probably up to a couple thousand apiece.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
And the fact that I'm in a position to eat that does not mean that I have any right to expect anybody else to eat that kind of an airfare.
Oh, sure. I would worry with your legs that
Yeah,
it's too long a flight.
you need to know what's going on
Yeah.
first.
Walking
I think it's probably best to decline for this year
Okay.
and let them figure out if they want to issue another invitation at another time. And if they should issue another invitation, then we need to make it clear that we would want whoever represents the order to be able to visit with both chapters. No debate on that.
Okay. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to send back the answer that I am simply physically unable to come this year, and I'm very sorry. If they do not issue another invitation, I would really like us to consider offering to go after we have the new election and have me take the new abbot over and introduce the new abbot, and at that point, make it clear that we are coming to visit both Philippines chapters. Because if we make the offer, we can lay requirements on this that I can't as a respondent to an invitation.
Correct.
Right.
Very wise.
I think that gives us a path in terms of responding to this that I'm comfortable with. Thank you for your
Just to
insight.
give you a little bit of data, I did look up Pittsburgh, Manila, and for October this year, the flights are around 1,500. So that gives us, just a point of data to consider.
Okay.
Thank you.
They suggested going into Clark.
Yeah, there was the added complication, they wanted us to come into Clark Airport because this year their retreat is not in Manila, it's up at near Ilicos, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. If we're going to go to both, we would have to go in and out of Manila and then go between them. It would be complicated travel, but when the time comes to go, we'll figure out. They may be back down in Manila at that point. The other thing I have on my list of things to cover, and then we'll cover the reimbursement policy after we come back
Sure.
from lunch.
Yeah.
I was just interested in sort of assessments of current things going on. I continue to thank you, Brother Scott, for the website very much. I have not had any recent requests about can't we add this to the website. When I get things, I shoot them over to you. Any other feedback from people here on the website or things that you wish we could add or wish we could be doing differently?
I just want to clarify, we're having a problem with the PayPal connection, and that's why it's not connected to our website. Brother Scott and I have spent considerable time trying to figure out what's wrong, and PayPal said it's our framework within the website, which we don't understand. So to date, we only have the PayPal function on the publications site, but not on our St. Luke site. We hope to get that fixed shortly.
I'm gonna need Brother Jonathan unmuted because I guess, is there anything else we need to know about what's going on publication site?
Sorry, I missed the very end of that question. Could you just restate the question one more time?
We're giving Brother Scott a lot of exercise. He has to run up and mute and unmute. I just wondered if there was any update you wanted to give on the publication site, and I realized I haven't given you information to put Brother Brendan's new book on the publication site. And I probably should know how to do that myself, but I don't. So I will get that to you. But anything else you want us to know?
Let's see. No, I don't think so. So as you say, the
We're not scheduled to meet after
moving on the third
lunch.
books is their
At all.
publication website. I'm still kind of long-term working on completing the periodicals archive for all of the bad issues of both Sacramento Life and Doxology. So at some point, it's obviously not urgent, but at some point getting a complete run of Sacramento Life especially would be really handy so that the ones that are missing right now can be digitized. So Sister Diane sent me a whole boatload of them. We got all those digitized, but it's not like every single issue. So if we can track those down at some point by our library, that'd be great. So that's just like a long-term library project.
Unless there are questions for Brother Jonathan. My memory on what we're doing when and what time has reminded me that actually we're not convening this group after lunch. So we probably should ask Sister Jeanette to take us through the reimbursement policy and what we might want to deal with that.
Thank you. I put this before us just so we can take a look at it. We last took a look at it in 2009, and then I think we reviewed it again in 2018. But we realized that the canons are not listed here specifically within the reimbursement claims that can be made. We talk about general officers and those under appointment, but do we want to make a specific provision that canons are reimbursed as they come to council? I mean, Brother Mark, you're the historian, our story project. Brother Dwight is Dort. Brother French is the constitutional expert, but if Sister Barb had come, does she have a specific appointment? So, you know, I think we have to figure out how to honor our canons by making sure that they're included in this.
You will not always have Perkins to reimburse.
That's right, correct. Correct, so do you want me to add something here? And do they want to be a first claim, second claim? I mean, we had enough budgeted and we're so few that we had some donation and everybody who needed reimbursement received reimbursement in full. Wow.
Brother George.
I would say yes, we probably ought to add them as a, either a second or third claim. And my reasoning for that is that we want to encourage local chapter representatives, so I want them to be having a higher claim. We also want to encourage canons to come, and especially in election years. And so I think we need to them somewhere in that second or third tier.
Okay, well, the provincial companions are the third claim, chapter reps are the fourth claim.
Priors count as chapter rep?
Yes, that's my understanding.
Okay.
Right.
Unless I'm wrong.
Okay, so it's, instead of second and third, it may be either third or
Yes.
fourth.
Yes. And then everyone else is, if there's, as Brother Scott used to say to me, because I would come to council just to learn about the order, he'd say, if there's any money left, I can give you something back. And I used to just donate it to the order, so that it made his record keeping a lot simpler. But I'm not sure how we can change this to make it more effective. And I wanted you to know that there is a policy for those who may not have known. Do you want me to work on this with the Abbott and then present something in October?
Sounds reasonable.
But I definitely think we need to have the cannons
Yeah.
in as reimbursable.
And that's what I thought, my goodness, where do I reimburse the cannons? And then I thought, we're stuck unless you have an official appointment to be here.
And I think this policy was put in place before we had cannons, at least.
As
at
many.
At least, many at all.
I
I think this was in place in the mid-nineties.
So we're using the
basic
same-
The basic framework, I think, has been there
Okay.
for a good while.
Yeah, we had, the first cannons were in the year of the anniversary, which the shirt says, and I don't have my shirt on. 96. We had our first cannons that year, I think.
If you excavated through this, there are various pieces that have been there for quite a long time. Yeah.
And the cannons are an abational appointment.
Yes.
Yes,
So
correct.
I would, my first knee-jerk reaction would be that they go in the
The
bullet
facial
point with the
appointment,
facial
okay.
appointments, but they should be explicit. And there might be logic that puts them somewhere else, but they are an abational appointment.
Right, yeah. I just think they need to be separated out.
They need to be explicit.
Yeah, to be explicit about, yes, they're valued to our discussions and the way we do our business. Okay. So, do you want Sister Elizabeth and I to work on this over the summer and come back in the fall?
Yeah, we can bring it up for approval at that
Yeah,
point
it
if you
sounds
want
like
to.
we're pretty clear what we want to do.
Right,
Yeah.
make sure there's
I don't think
something.
you guys have to do much more work on it.
Or you can
Figure out.
Or you can approve adding the cannons to that
Yeah.
bullet point right now, if that's what you want to do.
That's easy.
I would like to do that.
Do it.
Do it, just have
Say
them.
it, and how will it read?
Do you need a motion?
Yes.
Should it be Mrs. Jeanette?
I
All
can
right.
make the motion.
Make the
Go ahead.
motion.
I move that the cannons be considered as a second claim on the council meeting budget as appointed by the Abbott.
I'll second,
Okay,
if we need a second. I don't know, Mr. Robert and his rules.
Can I ask in terms of wording, would that be the general officers and
Want me to-
cannons appointed by the Abbott, just
Yeah.
add the word and
So you want me to-
cannons?
the wording would be, yes, the general officers and cannons appointed by the Abbott, and then keep the rest the same.
Yes.
okay, I think that
May I-
That makes it
up
easy.
nicely.
Made
Okay.
and seconded, any further conversation?
Who seconded? Oh, I thank you. Thank you, that takes care of that issue.
Well, we haven't voted.
Oh,
I
sorry.
should-
I'm way ahead of us, aren't I?
Do you know how this is gonna turn out, Sister
Let's get
The spirit tells me.
You're like the people who write up the baseball game in the third inning and just assume that it'll go
That's
the way
right.
they described it.
Right.
All in favor of that change?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
On behalf of the cannons, thank you.
Indeed.
Yes, it should be me or something.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Issues that I will bring up at some other time for us to talk about. Sister Heather had raised an issue with me I think with more than me, on the fact that the Order of St. Luke continues to be a relatively unknown organization, and aren't there more effective ways that we can publicize our existence? We can't do much with that in 3 minutes, but do continue to consider that and to bring that up when we gather in October if you have ideas on that.
It's a good year plan.
That would be cool. And I will tell you as Abbott, I struggle with the fact that on Facebook, we get lots and lots of people who want to sign up for the Order of St. Luke, that sign up and then we don't hear anything else from them. Come into the discerners and then we don't hear. And how much of that is that we don't do as much as we need to do in follow-up from that? And how much of that is just they saw it and they were curious and they're not really interested? It was just, you know, here's, check a box, give me some more information. And it's okay if people say, I want some more information, and their response is, whoops, not me. This isn't what I'm interested in. Maybe it's my reaction to the institutional church. I'm sorry, my goal for the Order of St. Luke is not how many butts in pews can we get.
Right.
I want people who have a commitment to who we are and what we are, and want this to be their life.
As one of the administrators of our Facebook page, I know Taylor, who's doing it mostly,
Yeah.
Really scrutinizes the people that are requesting membership and membership on Facebook.
On the Facebook.
Right.
Yes, yes.
But still, we could probably do more follow-up with those persons. I mean, those are not just people asking for information, though, because those have already decided that they like us.
They know.
Well,
Okay, maybe.
He won't even let them in if they don't answer the questions.
Exactly.
But they don't have to say much to answer the questions. And then they will go years and never actually post anything.
Yeah, but maybe we could fix that by being a little bit more proactive on the Facebook page.
Or kicking them off if it's been 2 years and they've never posted anything.
Right.
Or, I mean, the vast majority of the posts, there's 3 or 4 people who post their own devotional activities. You know, which is, you know, I've come to the place where I'm fine with that, okay, you know. How do we, at our level of commitment, start modeling more Lucan spiritual practices in that kind of space? Especially since communal worship is such a key part of our identity and practice.
And I've had conversations with Brother Daniel about, you know, is the point of our Facebook page to have a half a dozen people post their daily devotions? Or do we want them not to do that? And I'm not quite ready to evict them for that. But I just stopped reading the Facebook page. And as the abbot, I think that's probably not my correct response.
So what if we had 52 people in the order and we give everybody a week and say, you need to post something that week? And it could be a reflection about a liturgical question that you have, or it could be a paragraph description of a worship service that you went to and something that you appreciated or was meaningful, or it could be something about Lucan spirituality or something, 4 or 5 sentences, not pages and pages, but so that we had some more positive activity on the website demonstrating a Lucan sensibility, appropriate to that platform.
Sister Celia Kitchens does a midday prayer nearly every day. You know, why not just have her put that in there?
Yes.
That'd be a great one.
You know, because that's modeling our daily office, you know, and not just Sister Celia, I know several other people do it as well. You know, let's do the distinctly Lucan practices in that space. And I sure hope you're watching the Sister C.
What is a good way for us to encourage people to do that, other than talking about it here?
You create a list and say, this is, you know, you do this week, you got this week, you know.
I just need the name at the front of that sentence that says who is going to create this list and who is going to tell them.
Would that be Brother Taylor's task as the administrator of the page?
We need volunteers first, so we'd say, okay, folks in the order, you know, but how do you reach everybody? Is that Sister Cynthia and just send something out, but,
That's what I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know who is going to step up to the task of encouraging people in the order to use this mechanism, other than the half a dozen people who do use it.
But to be asked to do something that's not, you know, well, either something you're doing already, or, you know, and I do think there could be a place for writing, or, you know, to write 4 or 5 sentences. To be asked to do that once during the year would not be that onerous.
Yeah. Now, I don't think it's a bad idea, and I think there are people who could be encouraged to do it. I'm simply saying,
Right, how do we get
we
this started?
need the bridge between the idea and the action.
So Sister Celia just texted me and asked what I volunteered her for. So what we volunteered you for was just to do what you're already doing on the midday prayer, but post it in the Order of St. Luke as well.
Sister Elizabeth?
Just to point out, observing, and from someone who does a whole lot of cat herding, you know, in my own realm, the weightier task here is the cat herding task.
Yeah.
Of being the person who kind of gets the people to do it, and that could be a quite weighty task. Just that's the devil's advocate over here.
Well, that's what,
Yeah.
that's why my question is the who, because this
Right.
is not a trivial
Right.
task to get this to happen.
Mhm.
The whole idea of publicity for the Order of St. Luke has been a perpetual discussion item for as long as I've been a part of the order.
Yes.
And I'm hesitant to bring it up again, but publicity is a major element of how do we get the word out about the Order of St. Luke. Having a website, having a Facebook page, those kinds of things are important. But it's not it's not telling the story of or being invitational about the Order of St. Luke. Or even informational about, you know, here we are, who we are, what we do, where we do it. And I think that's something that we continually need to investigate. I've wanted to do advertisements for a long time, but I've always been told it's too expensive. Where do we put the ads? Who develops them? How do we change them? How do we keep it fresh? All of those kinds of things. The same kind of questions we ask about the website or about the Facebook page. And I understand, you know, the social media aspect is taking over so much more of our attention these days. And I'm speaking as one who is not on Facebook for political reasons. You know, yeah, I should be on Facebook for the order, but I don't want to be on Facebook because I don't want to support Facebook.
That's fine.
And that's a personal choice. So,
Who do the other votes got?
So these are the statistics for the stluke.net. In the past 30 days, 509 people have viewed the front page, 138 people have viewed the habit page, 114 have viewed the membership page.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Yes.
Is that 500 whatever hits, or is that 500 separate people?
That's 509 separate
Thank you,
individuals.
thank you. Awesome.
And that's the chart, and you're looking at the,
Yeah.
okay.
So you can see where in the world they've come from. Obviously far away, 420 from the United States, 16 from China, 15 from the UK, 13 from the Philippines. So on.
Do you have a breakout of where from China?
No.
That would be interesting.
Hard to get.
And that's the trend line over time. And usually when something gets updated, there's a small spike and it shifts and waves over time. People spend an average of 1 minute and 42 seconds on the site before clicking off, which isn't terrible actually. 13, 14 seconds is typical. Yeah.
Brother Scott, I get emails from our providers. We can boost your business. Do you also receive those emails from the people
Yes.
who?
Yeah, most of them are scams.
But I mean from the PayPal, from the Equid, from GoDaddy.
Well, even Facebook has a boost your post.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
I'm familiar with those kinds of things. If we want to spend time and money on them, we can, but
Yeah, I don't know how effective they are, but they do have the tools to boost us up.
it depends on how we define effective. They can get us more visitors, but are we after just more raw visitors, or are we actually after something other than that?
Thank you.
You don't have a statistic that translates hits on the site to people who become members.
Oh, no.
No, that's not that sophisticated.
So, yeah, that's what I see.
Okay.
We obviously aren't going to come up with a brilliant solution today, but I think we continue to have the issue of how do we put content out that is instructive to people, that is more than just personal devotion kinds of things, that will pique interest, that will provide information on who we are, that is the kind of thing you were talking about, that is educational, is informative, will cause people to want more information, will help people either say, yeah, this group looks like of interest to me, or, all right, I've learned enough to know this is not. We continue to get the phone calls, the emails that are obviously meant for St. Luke the physician,
Yes.
of, I'm going to get kicked out of this if I don't pay my dues right away, and how can I find the books?
Yeah, you owe us lots of money, send it quick. I think we just take advantage of those people, man.
That was a heartbreaking phone call I got in like the middle of the night from some poor woman who said, I can't pay my dues on your website. I said, well, who are you? And we don't have dues, we have donations. And when she told me, I said, I think you have the wrong order of St. Luke. And she said, well, my group at my church has told me I can't come back until I pay my dues. I said, that's not us. I said, we have plenty of people that don't make any donations. and they're still welcome to be part of us. So I mean, I heard the anxiety and exasperation in her voice, but she didn't even know what she had joined. Do you know what I mean? So, and I did find the other order online, and I texted her the information so that she could at least talk with them. But yeah, I get a lot of calls about, are you the right St. Luke?
Well, adventures in missing the point.
We will break and go to midday prayer and Eucharist, meditation chapel. Is there anything we need to know before we go?
I'm leaving my briefcase here if I might.
Is this our last meeting of the council?
This is the end of the council meeting. Immediately after lunch, the officers will meet for a half hour or less, and at 1:30, there will be a meeting back in this room of worship planning for the fall retreat. And so, but that is not council, that is a worship planning meeting for the fall retreat.
So I'm done, is that right?
You're done.
You're done.
Stick a fork in you, 'cause you're done.
So we'll have,
Oh, what, did we say what we need? We need red books?
Red votes.
Red books.
Brother Scott, you're gonna leave your stuff.
May I borrow your pen?
Yeah,
After-
Sure, Elizabeth.
So that won't be live streamed after.
Foolish last summer.
I can, you want me to take cameras and record it?
I'm gonna deposit it.
The stream isn't gonna
Okay,
work,
I
the
mean,
signal's
no
just not good enough in
promises,
there.
I
But
would
I
be
can
happy
record
to
it.
just put the word out, see who responds
just
back. Yeah, I'd
talking
be willing
about-
to do something once.
Yeah, you were talking
And
the
put
afternoon.
together a
Oh.
weekly list, as far as it goes. I can't promise I'm gonna make everybody do it, you know, I can't tell you how many times I'm gonna haggle with them or harass them, but I can put together a list as far as how many volunteers I get.
Yeah. Even if you say to
I'd
people,
like them this afternoon
And
to
I
sign
can,
up for me if I
reflect
might.
on one of the
You're gonna
things
need
that
my
I've
equipment in here, though.
reflect on a
You're
thing,
gonna find very dry.
reflect on what you.
Yeah, I just leave it in
just,
here.
You know,
Yeah.
couple of sentences, or post yourself doing the.
just, you know, brief
And then we can
postings
sneak in and eavesdrop on
to
what
help
the officers are
the
doing.
Facebook page be
Learn all of the secrets.
Who we are, represent what we, no, I got it, like I said, no promises, but I'll get on it and I should be able to make something. Yeah, okay. I gotta pee,
Important things.
Liturgy is all physical, man. I realize I don't have to be.
I think anyone who's going to be here after lunch who wants to sit in on the conversation about worship planning, it's not like a hidden